We've got our first official look at Raising Kanan Season 3 with some new look images and some details which I'm sure will excite everybody who's a fan of Raising Kanan. Power Book 3 returns on the 1st of December, which is not too long after Power Book 4 Force, so get ready, because it is going to be a very breezy winter. Now in this video I am going to be running through some exclusive first look images that were released for Season 3, which shows Rock very much in recovery, and also a first look at a few new players that are set to be introduced. There's Ronnie Mathis, Unique's brother, Ishmael Snaps Henry, and his wife Stephanie Pop Henry. We've also got a few returning characters like Stefano Marchetti, Sal Baselli, Detective Howard, and Berg. But before we dive deep into these images, these are some quotes from Sasha Penn, who's a showrunner of Raising Kanan, on what we can expect in this new season. I do think that in Season 3 there is a lot that happens, and there are some new characters that do emerge. We've done, I think, a very decent job at pacing this out, so we could get to where we are now. Like I said to you earlier, if you don't care about these characters, you're not going to care about the show. We've spent a very good amount of time over the past 2 seasons developing these characters, making them feel human, and exploring their humanity. I think we've done a good enough job that people are responding well, so I think if you like the finale, you are going to really like Season 3. So based on what Sasha Penn is quoted to say about Season 3, I really do have to agree with a lot of things that he did say. The pacing of the show really is just right. They haven't rushed the developments of Kanan or Jukebox, but rather laid the foundations to build on and create a great masterpiece, because that's what I think Raising Kanan will be when it is over and done with. Now, during the first 2 seasons, Kanan Stark really was on a tough journey. He had to learn about some hard truths about his family and himself. Secrets and lies have been a major part of his life, and each new revelation has hit him hard. Kanan used to sit there and deny it all, whether it be about his best friend D-Wiz or Howard being his father, but towards the end of Season 2 he could no longer ignore the reality that was staring right in front of his face. Now according to the official Deadline article, this is what they had to say about Season 3. In Season 3, Kanan finds himself grappling with the very notions of right and wrong, good and evil, fidelity and disloyalty, and he's not alone. Every member of the Thomas family must confront a crisis that challenges their very identity, whether it's Marvin who's still trying to redeem himself, or Rock who's finally coming clean, Lou who's wrestling from his own evil, or Jukebox who's said to be simply trying to break free from a family's pathology. They're all attempting to redefine and reinvent themselves. Unfortunately, they won't all be able to complete this intensely personal quest, but for those who do, the destination may reveal the most terrifying secret of all. There is no right and wrong and good and evil. There is no absolutes. It's just the end. There is just you. At the end of Season 2, Kanan did begin to question Rock. He knew something just weren't quite right, especially after Howard revealed he was his father. I do think deep down Kanan did know the truth, but the fact that Rock kept manipulating and twisting the truth, I do think it kind of clouded Kanan's judgment until he came to the realization Detective Howard is his father. So we're gonna have to see some tough conversations at the beginning of Season 3. Rock is gonna have to answer some difficult questions, and they're gonna have to reveal their history. Unfortunately, what this will do is cast a dark cloud over Kanan and Rock's relationship. We all know the relationship has been slowly deteriorating through Rock's lies, manipulation, and ongoing treatment of Kanan. Although I do think they're going to start Season 3 somewhat united against a bigger threat, which I'm going to come to in just a moment. Now, will they stick together for the long haul? I think we all know the answer to that question. Eventually we're going to be introduced to Breeze, who was the main mentor we heard about in Power. But what's going to happen in Season 3 is, Kanan will start to be mentored by others in the street, and I'm going to come to one in just a moment. Now we are also going to see Rock in recovery, which is pretty much the aftermath of Season 2's violence and chaos. We've got her in hospital making a phone call, with what looks to be like law enforcement standing right behind her. At the end of Season 2 she was staring down the barrel of death. That was until the most unlikely characters came in to save her life, Unique. We saw Unique pull Rock up and they stood as one. 2 of Southside's biggest players were united. Now it wasn't always that way because much of Season 1 and 2 played out where we saw Unique versus Rock, but the major turn came when Sal Baselli launched an all-out assault on Rock and Unique at the same time. It was a complete bloodbath where Rock lost most of her soldiers at the projects, Marvin was also wounded, and Unique lost Worrell. I think that this was the game-changing moment for Unique. The moment he lost his right-hand man, where he thought enough is enough, we need to stop fighting each other and we need to unite as one team against a bigger threat, that threat being Sal Baselli and Stefano Marchetti. Stefano Marchetti, played by Tony Danza, was described as the godfather of New York's mafia scene and the most powerful man in town. Anybody who wants to do business in NYC needs to come and see him first or expect to pay the price. So going into Season 3 we are going to see Stefano return along with Sal Baselli, and they're definitely going to play a big part on this ongoing feud between the Italians, Rock and Unique. Now, what makes this whole situation and scenario really intriguing is that we're also going to be introduced to Unique's brother Ronnie Mathis. And this is the first look at Ronnie. Ronnie is said to be Unique's older brother who was recently released from prison. And a few words to describe Ronnie is ruthless, conscienceless, unyielding, and vindictive. Now the first question I think we should all be asking when someone's released from prison in the world of power is why and how were they released? And hopefully we do learn the answer to that question at the beginning of season 3.
Your brother would have never done shit like that?
Yeah, maybe not. You see, Ronnie's upstate for the rest of his natural life.
It was said that Ronnie was upstate for the rest of his life. So what changed? Did he snitch? Did he get out on a technicality? Why was he released? There are a few ways they could twist this, and we have seen it all in the Power universe, so let's wait and see how and why. But why Ronnie being released will begin to complicate the story is because we've seen these relationships between brothers completely turn upside down in Power. Let's also not forget Unique did take over the organization as he went inside. So will he be looking to take back what he believes to be his? For example, just like Diamond did with the CBI in season 1 of Force. So I do think we're going to be expecting a lot of conflict, differing opinions, and a whole lot of betrayal and manipulation. Although one thing we have learned about Unique is he is an extremely good chess player. So it is going to be intriguing to see how he navigates the streets with not just his brother's release, but will he begin to question why Kanan and Howard turned up at Rock's house in the same car? Will he begin to uncover some truths about Rock, Kanan, and Detective Howard? One of the main reasons why Rock kept Howard a secret was because it puts an incredible stain on her reputation. Working with a cop back in the day is a big no-go, so that is another plot we do need to keep our eyes on. We've also got our first look at Ishmael Snaps Henry, a living legend on the street, former bank robber, and an OG dealer who now acts as a mentor and financier for up-and-comers like Kanan, along with his partner and wife, the love of his life, Stephanie Pop Henry. And I really do have to start by saying Raising Kanan certainly do know how to pick them. Adding Wendell Pierce to an already stellar lineup that Raising Kanan has in terms of their cast is a huge bonus. I'm sure many of us remember him as Bunk, and I also associate Pierce through his role as Robert Zane in Suits, but how does that impact season 3 of Raising Kanan? He's an OG bank robber who seems like he's taken a step back and rather mentors the likes of Kanan rather than carry out licks himself. We all know Kanan is going to have multiple mentors along the way in his journey, and Snaps does seem to be one of them. But considering he is an OG dealer and said to be a living legend on the street, he has to be a household name in the streets. So I do wonder if Unique and Rock know who he is, and just how does he get acquainted with Kanan. I also hope Snaps does play a big part in Raising Kanan, and he isn't just a character who's killed off instantly. But let's wait and see how this does unfold, because there will be further mentors along the way for Kanan Stark. I think we all know who the obvious one is and who everybody's waiting for. But with that being said, that's the first official look for Raising Kanan Season 3, and a complete breakdown of the details we need to know going into the new season. So lock in the 1st of December into your calendars, and let me know your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.